Hello everyone. We will learn today how to find the answer or how to simplify the expression using the rationalizing by the denominator. If we have a radical expressions as follows. And to find the answer for this question, let us rewrite the expression again as follows. So we have 5, then we have square root of 2, and exactly I'm talking about this side, then plus 4 square root over 3, and we have actually in the denominator 2 square root over 3. So we have 2 square root of 3 minus this side, which is 3 square root of 2, 3 square root of 2. As you see in this question, here is the options that we have. Option A, B, C, and D. So which one is the right answer? To find the answer for this question, we multiply the denominator and the numerator by the following expression. We will take whatever in the denominator, but we will change the subtraction as to be for addition. For example, we will take it like 2 square root of 3, like this, 2 square root of 3. As I said, we will change the subtraction here as addition. So plus 3 square root of 2, we will take it here and write it at 3 square root of 2. So we will write 3 square root of 2. And in the top, we will write the same as we write in the denominator. Actually, we will write here in the numerator the same as the denominator. 2 square root over 3 plus 3 square root of 2. As you see, we technically multiplied by 1 because the denominator is the same as the numerator, so both will cancel as 1. And if this quantity here is 1, by the what we call it the identity property of multiplication, which states like any number like x multiplied by 1 will end it will end with the same number. So if we multiply it here by 1, so you end up with the same question, so no changes will happen in this case. And now to find the answer, we will start first with the numerator. So I will start like this with the numerator, and then I will keep going with the denominator. And to do this, we need what we call it the table method. So let's start now with the table method as follows. So we have to draw a rectangle as follows. Then take this side from the rectangle from the left and take this side of the rectangle from the top. And all these things is exactly we are trying to find the answer, as I said. So as we know, we are dealing now with the numerator as here. So we will try first writing 5 square root of 2 in this side here as 5 square root of 2. So we will write it as 5 square root of 2. And then we will take 4 square root of 3 as here. So here is 4 square root of 3 as here. So we will write it as 4 square root of 3. Then we keep going with the numerator like this. So we'll take like 2 square root of 3 as here. So 2 square root of 3. So we will write it as 2 square root of 3. Then we will take it like 3 square root of 2. And we will write it down here. So this is 3 square root of 2. So we will write 3 square root of 2. Then I would like to call it as the next step. Now double it. It's not a math expression. It is just a way to make you understand or remember the method more easily. As I said, we are dealing now with a numerator. Okay? So in this case, we will start now with 2 square root of 3. We double it like this. 2 square root of 3 and 2 square root of 3. So we will double it first as 2 square root of 3 and 2 square root of 3. The same thing with 3 square root of 2 as here. 3 square root of 2 and 3 square root of 2. So we will double it. So it will be like this. 3 square root of 2 and 3 square root of 2. And then we will double 5 square root of 2 and here 5 square root of 2. So actually what we need is multiply by 5 square root of 2 and we will multiply by 5 square root of 2. The same with 4 square root of 3 like this. 4 square root of 3 and 4 square root of 3. So we need to double it as follows. Times 4 square root of 3 and here is the 4 square root of 3. To find the answer, we need now to multiply 2 by 5, which is 10. Now square root and square root, we will make it one square root like this. And we take the 3 and we multiply it by 2 under the root as this. So here 3 times 2. Finally, we end up with a 10 square root of 6. Since 2 multiplied by 3 or 3 multiplied by 2 equal to 6. The second side, we can see 3 multiplied by 5. It's equal to 15. So we are talking about 3 multiplied by 5. Then I will care about this square root and this square root. So we will make it like 1 square root. Now we take the 2 and we multiply it by 2. And by the definition of the square root, if you have like two number, the same number, you need to take one number out. So the answer will be as follows, like 15 multiplied by 2, we end up with 30. Okay, for this side, we will do the same. So we will start with 2 multiplied by 4 as it appears here. So we have the square root in this side and the square root of this side. So we will take it as like square root of, as you see, we have 3 and 3. Again, by the definition of square root, we end up with now first 2 times 4, which is 8, and square root of 3 times 3, which is times 3. The answer will be 24. And the last one here, we do the same, which is 4 multiplied, or let's start with the 3 first, times 4. We take the same square root as 2 times 3. And we end up with 4 times 3, or 3 times 4, in this case, which is equal to 12. And then square root of 2 times 3, which is 6, so square root of 6. We take now all the results that we reach to, and we add it together as follows. So the first one, which is 10 square root of 6 down there, like this. So 10 square root of 6. The second thing, as you see here, as 30 plus 30. So we have plus 30. Then we take it as 24 plus 24. So we add it to 24. And we end up with 12 square root of 6. So as you have here as plus 12 square root of 6. Now we combine the like terms as follows. We see here square root of 6 as we have square root of 6. So now we have 12 in this side and 10 in this side. So 12 plus 10, which is equal to 22. Of course, square root of 6 plus 30 plus 24, which is 54. So we end up with a numerator as follows. In this case, we don't need all that. We just need to write the answer. The answer for the numerator will be like 22 square root of 6 plus 54, as we said. So we take the result here just to record it. And then we will work next with the denominator. So we finish with a numerator. Let's work now together with denominator. The same strategy, guys. We need now to draw the triangle, doing the same, and take this slide or this side here from the left and this side from the top. Taking now the same thing, which is 2 square root of 3 in this side, like this. So we will write it as 2 square root of 3. The second thing, we will take the negative 3 square root of 2 in this side, like negative 3 square root of 2. So we will write it as negative 3 square root of 2. And then we will talk about like 2 square root of 3. We will write it like this here, 2 square root of 3. So we have it like 2 square root of 3. Then the other side, which is this one, we will take it down there here, which is 3 square root of 2. So we will write as 3 square root of 2. As you see, we will split the top and split here whatever on the left. And then we will start multiplication as follows. So we multiply this one by this one as follows. So we have like 2 square root of 3 times 2 square root of 3. And we end up with 2 times 2, which is 4. We take the square root of 3 times 3. By the definition, as we said, the square root of 3 times 3, which is 3. So 4 times 3, we end up with 12. Okay. Now we can keep going with 2 square root of 3 times negative 3 square root of 2 as follows. So we have 2 square root of 3 times negative 3 square root of 2. Now we have 2 multiplied by negative 3, which is negative 6. Then we have square root at this side and square root at this side. So we take the same square root, taking the 3 multiplied by 2, and then we end up with negative 6 square root of 3 times 2, which is 6. The next step will be taking the 3 square root of 2, multiply it by 2 square root of 3. So 3 square root of 2 multiplied by 2 square root of 3. Now 3 times 2, which is 6. Take the square root. 2 times 3, which is 6. So 6 square root of 3. And finally, we can take this one as like this. Multiply 3 square root of 2 times negative 3 square root of 2. So 3 square root of 2 times negative 3 square root of 2. Then we end up with 3 times negative 3, which is negative 9. We have square root on this side and square root of the other side. So as we said, we have square root here and square root here. So multiply together, we take 1 square root. Now 2 times 2. By the definition of the square root, we end up with a negative 9 times 2, which is equal negative 18. Now we will take everything as follows. We will start with 12, then add it to negative 6 square root of 6, and then add it to the 6 square root of 6, and end up with adding the negative 18 as follows. So we will start with, as I said, with 12, then add it to negative 6 square root of 6, then add it to 6 square root of 6, and then add it to negative 18. As you see, we have the negative 6 with a positive 6 of square root of 6 cancel. This is 0. End up with 0. And then we lift up with 12 plus negative 18. We can subtract 18 minus 12, and the answer will be negative because the big number, which is the 18, is negative. So we will end up with 18 minus 12, which is 6, equal negative 6. So now we take the answer we get, which is negative 6, for the denominator. So we will end up like this, divided by negative 6. And if we explore the options, we can see I don't have any of the options that fit with this one. So none of these is fit with this one. But I can see I have here square root of 6 and I have square root of 6. Now I will think about it as follows. And so I think this one was not right. Maybe the answer was, I think, 54. Yes, it was 54. So now this is by mistake written as 5. And in this case, you can see that the denominator in here is like 3. So how to change 6 to be like a 3? Now we need to divide by 2. But what about the answer here is positive, but the answer here is negative? So actually this one, you can write it in different way. So for example, you can write it as negative 22 square root of 6 plus 54. And this is all together as a numerator divided by 6. And also you can write it as 22 square root of 6 plus 54 divided by negative 6, and at the same time you can write it as negative in the numerator with a 22 square root of 6 plus 54 divided by 6. So simply you can start dividing by 2 and at the same time divide everything by 2. So based on that you can reach to the idea, which is negative. Now 22 divided by 2, which is 11. I'm talking about this 22. You can divide it by 2, getting 11. Okay. Now 11, you keep the square root of 6 the same, plus. Now 54 divided by 2, which is 27. Okay. Now 6 divided by 2 here, which is 3. Now you can see that it's so close now to A, but the negative is outside. If you distribute the negative, you will end up like this. Distribute the negative. So you will end up with negative 11 square root of 6. Now subtract 27 and divide it by 3. And rearrange the numerator. You can get something like this. So you can start with negative 27 minus 11 square root of 6 divided by 3. So it's clear that this option is the right option, which is A. The other options, B and C and D, is so away from the result that we reached to in this case. So the answer will be A in this case. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope to meet you with another video to make the math more and more easy.